Today, we have a video that will leave you speechless. We are going to explore the 5 surprising prophecies of Nostradamus about world leaders in 2024. Did you know that this 15th century seer predicted events that still affect us today? Have you ever wondered how his visions align with current times? Nostradamus has been a fascinating and controversial figure for centuries, known for his mysterious and cryptic predictions. In this video, we will unravel his most shocking prophecies and link them to current world leaders. Could Nostradamus's visions give us a glimpse into the future? Stay with us until the end to discover how these prophecies might change the course of history. Don't miss it. Prophecy 1. The fall of a great leader. Nostradamus, the famed 15th century prophet, is known for his cryptic quatrains, which have been interpreted as predictions of significant future events. One of his most alarming prophecies is the one predicting the fall of a great leader, an event that, according to his writings, would mark a turning point in global history. The relevant quatrain says, "The great man will fall on the stormy day, his power will fade, and the kingdom will be shaken." Although no names or exact dates are mentioned, current circumstances allow us to associate this prophecy with several contemporary political leaders like Joe Biden, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Donald Trump, who has been the subject of assassination threats. Joe Biden, President of the United States, has faced numerous significant challenges during his term, from managing the COVID-19 pandemic to the withdrawal from Afghanistan and rising tensions with Russia and China. Biden is in a delicate position. The 2024 presidential elections represent a critical point in his political career. Internal polarization, economic problems, and possible health issues related to his advanced age could contribute to an unexpected fall. Additionally, any significant internal crisis could destabilize his government and fulfill Nostradamus's prophecy. Vladimir Putin, President of Russia, has consolidated his power for over 2 decades, but his decision to invade Ukraine in 2022 has generated significant opposition, both internally and externally. International sanctions and political isolation have weakened his position. Rumors about his health and possible internal power struggles could precipitate his fall. Internal pressure and economic instability are also decisive factors that could lead to a dramatic outcome. Xi Jinping, President of China, is another leader who could be associated with this prophecy. Under his leadership, China has adopted a more aggressive stance on the global stage, especially regarding Taiwan and the South China Sea. Tensions with the United States and other Western countries are increasing, and the Chinese economy faces significant challenges, such as a possible real estate crisis and an economic slowdown. Although Xi has consolidated his internal power, any economic setback or international conflict could trigger a political crisis that threatens his leadership. Donald Trump, former President of the United States, is a presidential candidate for the 2024 elections and remains an influential and polarizing figure, which could intensify political division in the country. Trump has been the subject of multiple legal investigations and survived impeachment attempts. In July 2024, Trump suffered an assassination attempt by a sniper during a presidential rally, an event that added a layer of danger to his figure. This attack could have a significant impact on his campaign and the US political landscape, making his possible return to power marked by violence and extreme opposition. The possible fulfillment of this prophecy in 2024 depends on a confluence of political, economic, and social factors. Global instability and current tensions suggest that the fall of a great leader is not an unlikely scenario. History has shown us that even the most powerful leaders are vulnerable to the changing forces of politics and society. In conclusion, The fall of a great leader in 2024, as predicted by Nostradamus, is a real and tangible possibility. World politics is volatile, and leaders face constant challenges that can drastically alter their fate. Whether it's Biden, Putin, Xi, or Trump, the fulfillment of this prophecy could have profound repercussions on the global stage. We must stay alert to developments that could fulfill this disturbing prediction and consider its implications for the future. Prophecy 2. Wars triggered by world leaders. Nostradamus, the famous 15th century seer, predicted a series of wars triggered by decisions of world leaders in his enigmatic quatrains. These predictions, written in his characteristic cryptic language, suggest that the ambitions and rivalries of leaders could bring the world to the brink of conflict, generating devastating wars that would change the course of history. Nostradamus wrote about fierce wars and conflicts between kings that would shake the earth. These descriptions have been interpreted as warnings about confrontations between the great powers of our time. In the current context, geopolitical tensions are palpable, and several world leaders are at the center of these disputes, making Nostradamus's prophecy resonate with unsettling clarity. One of the main points of tension is the relationship between the United States and China. These two superpowers are engaged in an economic, technological, and military competition that has been escalating in recent years. The issue of Taiwan is a critical point in this dispute. China considers Taiwan a renegade province and has vowed to reunify it with the mainland, even by force if necessary. The United States, for its part, has reaffirmed its support for Taiwan, raising the possibility of a direct confrontation. Another point of conflict is the relationship between Russia and Ukraine. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 destabilized the region and led to a direct confrontation with Ukrainian forces supported by NATO. Economic sanctions imposed by the West have isolated Russia but have not stopped the hostilities. Vladimir Putin has shown a willingness to use military force to achieve his political goals, and any escalation in this conflict could involve other countries and trigger a larger-scale war. In the Middle East, tensions between Iran and Saudi Arabia, along with the intervention of foreign powers in Syria and Yemen, remain sources of instability. Iran and Saudi Arabia, the two main regional rivals, are involved in a power struggle affecting several countries in the region. Historical rivalries and the struggle for political and economic control could trigger broader and more violent conflicts. Current evidence suggests an increase in military preparation and strategic alliances, indicating that world leaders are preparing for possible confrontations. Increases in military spending, missile tests, and joint exercises are indicative of an ongoing arms race. International security analysts warn that the lack of dialogue and aggressive policies could lead to inevitable conflicts. In conclusion, Nostradamus's prophecy about wars triggered by world leaders finds an echo in the current geopolitical situation. Tensions between great powers, territorial disputes, and competition for resources create an environment where armed conflicts could become a reality in the near future. History has shown that leaders' ambitions and rivalries can bring the world to the brink of disaster. Diplomacy and dialogue are essential to prevent these predictions from coming true, but the volatility of global politics suggests that we must be prepared for possible confrontations that could change the course of history. Prophecy 3. Global economic crisis linked to political decisions. Nostradamus predicted numerous catastrophic events that have resonated throughout the centuries. One of his most alarming predictions is that of a global economic crisis, a financial collapse that would shake the world and have devastating effects on all nations. In his quatrains, Nostradamus refers to the rich becoming poor and a great recession lasting many years. These images evoke a scenario of massive economic collapse. a crisis that could be caused by poor political decisions and global instability. To understand the relevance of this prophecy in the current context, it is essential to compare the present economic situation with Nostradamus's predictions and analyze the decisions of world leaders. The global economy has been on a roller coaster since the COVID-19 pandemic, which unleashed a global recession and forced governments to take extraordinary measures. In the United States, President Joe Biden has implemented expansive fiscal policies to stimulate the economy, including the American Rescue Plan, which injected trillions of dollars into the economy to support affected families and businesses. At the same time, Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, has maintained an expansive monetary policy with near zero interest rates and massive bond purchases to keep financial markets stable. However, these policies have led to a significant increase in public debt and raised concerns about long-term sustainability. Moreover, inflation has resurfaced as a major issue, with rates not seen in decades, eroding consumers' purchasing power. The combination of high debt and high inflation is a dangerous recipe that could destabilize the global economy. Experts warn that if central banks are forced to raise interest rates to control inflation, it could trigger a recession. Additionally, trade and geopolitical tensions, such as the war in Ukraine and sanctions against Russia, are affecting supply chains and driving up energy costs, further exacerbating the economic situation. The potential consequences of a global financial collapse are vast and devastating. We could see a rise in unemployment, a drastic drop in consumption, and a debt crisis that would affect both developed and developing countries. Companies could go bankrupt, financial markets could collapse, and poverty could increase dramatically. Furthermore, economic instability could lead to political instability, with protests and social unrest challenging governments and potentially leading to regime changes. Economists like Nouriel Roubini, known as Dr. Doom for his pessimistic predictions, have warned about the possibility of a global economic crisis. Roubini and other economists point out that the combination of high debt, inflation, geopolitical tensions, and expansive monetary policies creates a very fragile environment. History has shown that economic crises can arise suddenly and with little warning, and political decisions play a crucial role in preventing or precipitating these events. In conclusion, Nostradamus's prophecy about a global economic crisis linked to political decisions resonates ominously with the current economic situation. Stimulus policies and the decisions of world leaders, while necessary to address the immediate crisis, may have long-term consequences that could trigger a financial collapse. Being vigilant and prepared is essential to mitigate the effects of a potential crisis and ensure global economic stability. Prophecy 4: Pandemics and Diseases Unleashed by Leaders' Inaction. Nostradamus predicted in his enigmatic quatrains the arrival of new diseases that would devastate humanity. These prophecies, written in cryptic and poetic language, speak of plagues in the great city and diseases that quickly spread among the people. The modern interpretation of these quatrains suggests the emergence of pandemics that could be triggered by leaders' inaction or poor management. The recent COVID-19 pandemic has shown how vulnerable we are to infectious diseases and how leaders' crisis management can make the difference between control and chaos. World leaders faced an unprecedented challenge with the emergence of SARS-CoV-2, and responses varied significantly between countries. Some adopted swift and strict measures, while others underestimated the severity of the situation or implemented inconsistent policies. For example, New Zealand, under the leadership of Jacinda Ardern, quickly implemented strict restrictions and quarantine measures, managing to keep cases and deaths low. In contrast, countries like the United States and Brazil, under the mandates of Donald Trump and Jair Bolsonaro respectively, faced criticism for their initial handling of the pandemic, which included downplaying the virus threat and implementing delayed containment measures. These differences in pandemic management highlight how leaders' inaction or poor actions can exacerbate the situation. India, led by Narendra Modi, also serves as an illustrative case. Initially, India managed to contain the virus with a strict lockdown, but later faced a devastating second wave due to premature relaxation of restrictions and lack of preparation for a massive surge in cases. Images of overwhelmed hospitals and continuously running crematoriums serve as a grim reminder of the consequences of inaction and lack of planning. To mitigate the impact of future pandemics and heed Nostradamus' warning, it is crucial for world leaders to adopt proactive and effective measures. Here are some key strategies for prevention and protection. 1. Strengthening healthcare systems. It is essential to invest in robust healthcare systems that can respond quickly to disease outbreaks. This includes increasing hospital capacity, securing medical supplies, and training healthcare personnel. 2. Research and development of vaccines. Continuous research and the development of new vaccines are crucial. International collaboration and adequate funding can speed up the creation of effective vaccines and their equitable distribution. 3. Public education and awareness. Education on hygiene, vaccination, and preventive measures is vital to controlling the spread of diseases. Awareness campaigns can help change behaviors and promote healthy practices. 4. Improved epidemiological surveillance. Surveillance systems must be improved to quickly detect new outbreaks. Technology and artificial intelligence can play a significant role in monitoring public health data and predicting pandemics. 5. International cooperation. Pandemics are global problems that require global responses. Countries must collaborate and share information, resources, and strategies to effectively address health crises. In conclusion, Nostradamus' prophecy about pandemics and diseases unleashed by leaders' inaction resonates strongly with the current situation. The management of the COVID-19 pandemic has shown the consequences of inaction and the importance of a coordinated and effective response. World leaders must learn from these lessons and take proactive measures to prevent and mitigate future pandemics, ensuring the health and well-being of their populations. Prophecy 5. Extreme climate changes caused by global policies. Nostradamus is known for his cryptic quatrains predicting significant future events. Among his most alarming predictions are those related to extreme climate changes. According to his writings, the Earth will experience unprecedented weather phenomena, the direct result of human actions or inaction. Nostradamus mentioned fires from the sky, great floods, and scorching heat that will boil the seas, evoking images of catastrophic natural disasters. In the current context, Nostradamus' prophecy about extreme climate changes finds resonance in the warnings of scientists and environmental experts. The scientific consensus is clear. Human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, is driving climate change at an alarming rate. CO2 levels in the atmosphere have reached unprecedented levels, contributing to global warming. Recent scientific evidence underscores the severity of the situation. The past few years have been some of the warmest on record, and extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and intense. In 2020 and 2021, the world witnessed devastating wildfires in Australia, California, and the Amazon. These fires not only destroyed vast areas of forest, but also released enormous amounts of CO2, further exacerbating the problem. Moreover, extreme temperatures have caused deadly heat waves in various parts of the world. Europe, North America, and Asia have experienced record temperatures that have endangered human health. Scientists say this will become more common due to climate change. To mitigate these effects and prevent Nostradamus's grim predictions from becoming a reality, it is crucial for world leaders to take decisive actions. Here are some essential strategies. 1. Reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. It is imperative to reduce CO2 and other greenhouse gas emissions. This requires a global transition to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. 2. Adaptation to climate change. Communities must adapt to the inevitable effects of climate change. This includes building resilient infrastructure, planning cities for floods and storms, and developing early warning systems for natural disasters. 3. Public education and awareness. Education about climate change and its effects is vital to mobilizing society towards sustainable actions. Awareness campaigns can help change behaviors and promote environmentally friendly practices. Recent scientific evidence and extreme weather events highlight the urgency of taking decisive measures to mitigate these effects. Immediate and coordinated action is essential to protect our planet and future generations from the predicted climate disasters. If you found these prophecies intriguing, you won't want to miss what Nostradamus foresaw in 2024. Watch Terrifying. Nostradamus and his 5 dark prophecies for 2024. Revealed prophecies for even more shocking predictions that could change the world as we know it. Click here to dive into the future now.